In the beginning, there was chaos.
What happened to Saskia?
She's alive. Wounded from our scrap, but alive. She impaled herself on a tree, and then I had to use that dagger. But she'll make it. Mountain air is good for a dragon's hide.
You're the most noble human I know, Gwynblade.
I'm no human.
I'm glad you reminded me. My hatred for the species abated for a moment.
What about Letho?
Strange thing. He sits in the Temerians' former camp. I believe he awaits you.
How do you know?
I saw him. He's got Triss.
Let's go. Tell me what happened here on the way.
While you were fighting Saskia, the city was staged to a bloody spectacle.
The players?
There were many. At first, it was a hunt for the traitors, but it soon turned into a hunt for all mages. And there were a few skirmishes between Kedweni, Redanian, and Temerian troops. Rape, pillage, and murder. Not necessarily in that order. The pastimes of the Order's pious knights. And the regular troops soon followed suit. The kings, with their choice units, left the city just after the dragon attacked.
And the Nilfgaardians?
Remained neutral. That is to say, they shot anyone who dared approach their camp.
When we're done with you, you'll be a lump of whimpering meat. Elf! Killed a non-human.
Please. Do these guys know I just killed a dragon? Well, defeated a dragon?
Beasts! Bloody sons of bitches!
Will you be all right?
Yes, thank you. Leave me.
What happened here?
When the summit ended, we hid in one of the houses, but they found us. They cut off both my sister's hands so she wouldn't cast spells. But I managed to escape. They caught me here.
Let's go, Gwynblade. This is madness. Loch Muin has changed. That's what it looks like now.
I think I heard something.
Imperial troops. Long live the Emperor! Long live the Emperor!
Finish your story.
I managed to sneak into the Nilfgaardian camp. It was relatively quiet there. Then I saw Letho leading Triss out.
They let him go?
No one dared stop him. I followed him. I think he noticed me, but didn't seem to care. Once the fighting died down, he went to the former Temerian camp.
Is Triss all right?
Yes. Letho defended her from marauders.
Stop, Yorvith. I'm going alone.
Why?
This is between the two of us. Take care of Triss until I return.
Your choice.
Mine, indeed. There's one more thing you need to know. Nilfgaard's armies have crossed the Yaruga. War is inevitable.
Vafail, Gwynblade. Don't get killed.
Farewell, Yorvith. If I don't return within the hour, find Saskia and leave without me. Are you all right?
Yes. He saved me from the Nilfgaardians, and defended me from the troops.
It's time to end this. Yorvith's waiting. I'll catch up with you soon.
Geralt, he knows a lot.
I know, Triss. That's why we need to talk.
Don't get killed, Witcher.
I won't.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
Oh, it was.
Good. Had she lived, she would have suffered more intensely and much longer. She helped me quite a bit, through naivety and pride. I would not have gotten far without her.
So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka?
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice, 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every Witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our Witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every Witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt. that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern. Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days, delirious, in agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Seret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the north. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another, pursue their God-given rights, seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
Time to fight. Ready?
As I'll ever be. You fear death. Stop. What does it feel like to be almost dead? Fight. The wolf has teeth. And they're sharp. I'm better. I can tell already. Of course you can. You tire quickly. I'm tired of talking. I don't want to kill you. And I'll kill you. You're nowhere near my level. Of course not. No Kingslayer. I've had enough of this dance. Goodbye, Geralt.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwen and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds. Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwen divided it between them. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwen would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in a lapse of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Well, this is going on really long, isn't it? So a couple of you had a couple of questions regarding decisions I made. What were those? I'll answer them now since we've seen all the cartoons and the music just cycles through a couple of times already. You can read names over the sound of my voice. Why did I kill Letho? He was an assassin who killed a bunch of people who didn't need to be killed. So I killed him. He rescued Triss and Yennefer, so? Doesn't mean he shouldn't be punished for his other crimes. While that technically is possible, we'll never know now, will we? Yeah. That's the reason. Also, there were two different characters that I would have liked to see when I used the artifact. I forget the dude's name. The guy who I discovered the artifact with, Cynthia, I think? There were two names I was hoping to see on the list that I could look into, and neither of them were there. So I was a bit disappointed by that, but that's okay. I know why they didn't do it. You also have to keep in mind that I've read like half of the novels. You wanted to see Zoltan. No. I was actually surprised Dandelion was on the list. I was all like, who chooses Dandelion? Really? But I've read like half of the novels, which all the novels take place prior to the games. So there is a chunk of his backstory that I'm familiar with, not all of it, that I'm familiar with from the books that he's not familiar with in the games. So for some of you that were all like, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that? And I was all like, because I don't feel like the character would have done that based off of what I know from him in the books. You really want to know what happens in Witcher 3? I thought you've played that. Oh, you've never seen a Witcher 3 playthrough where Letho was dead? Oh. Well then. Now I know that he would have played a at least somewhat significant role in Witcher 3, but now he won't. This bitch is dead. What was the spraying noise from earlier? It sounded like a can of spam or something. A can of Pam or something. It was a can of Pam, yes. It was a can of spray butter. Cappy was having popcorn. But they make Pam, they make generic, we don't buy Pam because it's expensive. But they make generic spray oils, but they make one that's just butter instead of like oil. So she uses that for her popcorn. You want popcorn now? Dude, you never eat. Shut up.
Tasty.
Yes. I want popcorn now, says the guy who has one meal every 3 days. Can you come over? Dude, if you drive down here, I will make you some popcorn. Like, if Hasty drove all the way to my house from Canada, I would be all like, yeah, I'll make you some popcorn. You liked Yorveth? Yeah, at the beginning, I really hated him. I was all like, fuck this guy. And then as the story progressed, I was all like, you know what? He's a bit of a dick in his methods, but I understand what he's doing. And from some of the stories I understand in the books, I kind of get why he's doing it. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. I just disagree with his methods. Yet, towards the end of the book, or towards the end of the game, he was basically just doing what I wanted him to do. So, he was doing my method of stuff instead of his own or Letho's. So, he seems, for lack of a better phrase, he seems easily manipulated. Which, I mean, works well for me at the end of for the second half of the game. As long as you're manipulating him to do what he wants via your method, he seems to be fine with that. See, the thing is I was able to stop Yorveth from killing. I was able to convince him to stop. That was not a possibility with Letho at all. I was all like, Letho, you shouldn't do it. And he was all like, I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to go kill other people. I mean, I prefer to play Geralt as though I feel like he would have been depicted in the books. Personally. And Geralt in the books is extremely gray. Like, if I had to describe... If you wanted to put, like... no, Witchers are not a different race. Witchers are humans who have taken a potion slash poison concoction and have had spells cast on them while taking the potions that changes them biologically, turning them into some form of a mutant where they have better eyesight, better sense of smell, better hearing, they're stronger, they can cast magic themselves, whereas humans can't normally. Limited magic. And they have extreme abilities for fighting against monsters specifically. Yeah, they cannot themselves reproduce, correct. They have to reproduce. They have to increase their ranks via transforming other humans. And not all humans can be turned into Witchers. Sometimes you'll go through the process of becoming a Witcher, and you'll die in the process. So your body wasn't strong enough, per se. Yeah, survival rate is very low. That's why Witchers are very feared, because if you survive, you're badass. But yeah, in the, if I had to put Geralt in like a D&D, you know the standard D&D rating of what kind of a person you are? I would say Geralt is chaotic neutral. Are there female Witchers? Yes. They are extremely rare. But there have been female Witchers in the past. Yeah, alignments, thank you. I would say Geralt is chaotic neutral. He's not lawful and he's not true. He's definitely chaotic about what he does, but he's neither good nor evil. Is that it? What's chaotic neutral? He goes out of his, well, he kind of goes out of his way to be neutral. So if he does something evil, he'll try to do something good to compensate. They have a longer lifespan than humans. Significantly longer. Yeah, that was Nilfgaard. Makes you want to play Witcher 3 right now, doesn't it? No. It makes me want to play The Witcher 3, but not right now. Well, that was super fun. So, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. You thought the Nilfgaard people wore black? Well, the knights do. The knights they wear black and they have winged helms, but Anyway, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time.